Welcome to More Based Off, where reactions are based on facts, commentary is based on experience, and every opinion is rooted in real talk. If you enjoy honest conversations, hit like, subscribe, and let's get into it. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Alan Thompson with More Based Off. I told y'all it was going to be a busy week. What is this, the third video of the day? A lot to talk about, a lot to talk about. So yeah, we're going to talk about the latest video that Marcus dropped. I guess the first video actually that he dropped of the day. He's dropped a few today, but we're going to focus on this one for the day. And this is the video for the Makeover Monday with Polo, and of course, then when they showed up, Feisty and Tragedy were getting uh, their Makeover Monday. I guess I don't know if it was just Tragedy or Feisty got one as well. But I don't think Feisty did actually. I think it was more just for Tragedy. But let's get into it. Very interesting video. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure you go and watch it. Very, very interesting video. So remember in my video earlier, I mentioned, how Marcus had been silent and hadn't said anything. And in this video, he said quite a bit actually, but quite a bit, but then at the same time, not a lot. And then let me just say this, give me a minute, y'all. I'm not gonna make the video too long because I know people's attention spans are not that long. um, and so yeah, but let me just start with this for Marcus, and hopefully maybe he might listen. Like I said in this video, Polo brought me up, and I was like, "What? Like cloud chasing?" But it's all good. Polo, I understood where he was coming from, and it's all good. And after that, Marcus said, "Well, I don't know. For these channels, they might not have much to report on soon. This might be the end of an era for Atlanta Street Interviews." He said that after Polo actually mentioned me, and then he kind of alluded to it again in other parts of this video, and you can hear the disappointment in his voice, and almost I guess you could say the sadness, the concern, and all of that. And I want to just start by saying this, let's talk real for a minute, just for a minute. If you can give me a minute to talk real. And like I said, this is to Marcus, let's say that he's listening. What I would say to Marcus is that there comes a time, I think, in every man's life, where, and it doesn't just apply to men, this is people in general, adults, in every adult's life, where I think you have to have a moment where you search your soul and say, what am I doing? Where am I? And ask the question, and where am I going? And I think this might be that moment for you, hopefully, where you ask yourself that question, um, and get real with yourself, and not try to play on the, I guess you could say, the emotional strings of people, um, of, well, you don't know what's going to happen, and, well, people are out to get me. And I think a better approach would be to own it, own up to what you've done, stand in it, and just, again, admit that you made a mistake, which I heard in certain parts of this video where you did say, talked about taking accountability and all of that. But again, of course, you were saying how you couldn't speak too much on it and all that, which is understandable. I do understand, and why you can't talk about certain things and all of that. But again, my advice to you would be, it's time to get real with yourself, because I think the thing that a lot of people have begun to notice about you is that you haven't been real. We've seen some of the lies. We've seen some of the, the exploitation of these people. We've seen now with the latest allegations, um, you know, the inappropriate nature of it, and now with the underage girl allegedly. Um, and I think, Marcus, the best thing for you to do is to, at this time, be real with yourself and ask yourself, what am I doing and where am I going? Because this is the thing, Marcus, that people see and know. You have known what you're doing this whole time. So the best thing to do is don't look for sympathy for people now. Own what you did. We all make mistakes. That's the thing. Nobody is perfect. That's why I was saying earlier, I'm not invested in which way it's going to go one way or the other. I'm not against you. I'm not trying to, I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't have one way or the other. I don't have I guess you could say, opinion on it, or I don't want a certain outcome. But, I am talking about what I've seen and what I currently see. And, the other part about it is, you quote the Bible so much, you give these young men scriptures from the Bible. You just in a video quoted to Chaos, now known as Chosen, about, he who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. And I made another video about that when I talked about that. And I said, well, is Marcus preaching to himself? Because, I mean, hello, you know, yeah, he who humbles himself will be exalted. That portion of it, it's almost like, I don't know if you see the contradiction in the things you preach versus what we see. And I had said in that video, leave the Bible out of it, because at the end of the day, you're not living by those words, and we've seen it. And so the best thing you can do right now is be real. And the thing that I've learned over the course of my life as a man, I'm a little older than you, is that we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. But now, if you're going to quote the Bible, let's talk about it. You got to be real with yourself, and you got to be real with God. Because the one thing about it, you might fool people, but you can't fool God. And God can deal with imperfect people. But what he can't deal with is the intentional things we do that we know are wrong, but still choose to do them anyways. Now, he can't deal with that because those are your choices, and that's what you're deciding to do. Now, genuine mistakes are different. You know, you can get grace when they're genuine mistakes. And you can get grace even when it's intentional things you do and you should have done it. Again, if you are real with yourself and you just admit it, you know what? I was trifling. I ain't having no business doing that. You know what? Let me get myself together. Let me start making some different choices. Guess what? God can work with that. So I'm stopping there because I'm not about to give a sermon because I'm not a pastor, I'm not a preacher. But I felt a need to say that because Marcus quotes so many scriptures, and you're always quoting scriptures, but the way you're living is in contrast to that. So again, my message to you would be: get real, be real, because guess what? Again, if you're gonna quote the Bible and we're gonna bring God into it, you know, God can deal with you when you're real and you tell the truth about your condition. Um, and He can give you mercy when you do that. But if you just want a pity party and you want people to feel bad for you, and God, He really not that concerned about that. And you feeling bad for yourself, and when you did wrong, it's like, no, just go ahead and admit whatever you did wrong, and I'm not telling you to admit it to us, to the people, admit it to yourself, and then just do what you got to do to make it right. Whether that's going through the legal process, whatever that's going to be, it's going to be. But if you at least can tell the truth to yourself, then you might get some mercy. So I'm going to stop there with that. We're going to move on and get into the video. I hope that made sense to y'all. And I hope it, if Marcus hears that, it makes sense to him. And maybe help him out a little bit, and maybe help somebody else out. So, anyways, but in this video, yeah. Like I say, Polo mentions me, at the beginning, and I actually thought it was nice. And so yeah, then they had the reunion once they got to Miss Wanda with the makeover. So Feisty and Tragedy, they had their makeovers going on, or Tragedy did, and apparently Marcus didn't know they were going to be there, so it was like kind of like a surprise. So of course that was just like a lot going on in that video. Feisty, of course, telling all her lies. Oh, did I say that lies? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But anyways, we know it'd be lies. So she was telling all her wild stories where you don't even know what the heck she's talking about. But anyways, apparently Feisty is going to Texas. I guess Tragedy's going with her to do what? Who knows? Her YouTube page is up now. So yeah, so it was that element going on in the video. And then Tragedy, this was part of the video that really I was like, wow, well, we know Tragedy got a smart mouth. And he came at Marcus like asking him about some money. I guess Marcus owed him, and then he went on. Then he, of course, brought up the allegations about the underage kid. He's like, "Yeah, what about these underage kids?" I'm like, "This Tragedy is a mess." And then after he asked that, he's like, "Yeah, but and then how's your son doing?" I was like, Tragedy, you doing a lot. So he was pushing all Marcus's buttons to the point where Marcus literally got out of there real fast. I mean, he hightailed it out of there once Tragedy started bringing all that up. And but the one thing I kind of laughed, because people give Tragedy a hard time, but Tragedy is not that stupid. He really is not. Like, if he could ever just take all his smart aleck ways and apply them in the positive way, he could actually do something with his life. Because one thing I will tell you, he was calling Marcus out. Like, I mean, it was just kind of like, yeah, you trying to always, call out our dirt. What about your dirt? That's basically what Tragedy was doing in that moment. I'm like, well, it is what it is. And Tragedy did that from the beginning with Marcus, when Marcus was trying to get him to expose all his business. And Tragedy was like, yeah, but I'm not trying to expose it to YouTube. I can go to a therapist to talk about that. So anyways, but Tragedy, they've always given him a hard time. Everybody gives him a hard time, like, say he has a smart mouth. He does, he's a know-it-all. And he needs to get a more balanced approach to certain things. But I'll be honest with you, like what he was telling Marcus today, what he's saying to him, I was just like, well, it is what it is, so so yeah, it was an interesting video, and like it was all over the place. In the video, you could clearly tell Marcus he was there, but he wasn't there, because clearly these allegations are definitely concerning him. And honestly, that was pretty much it. That was the video. But I think really, now that I'm finishing this video up, I think the beginning, the way I started this off, is the main purpose of this video. I think that is what the issue at hand is here now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Marcus, come on now. It's time to get real, man. You a 44-year-old man, and you doing out here doing stupid stuff. I mean, just stupid. And the minute you can like tell that to yourself, you might actually end up being okay. But you got to realize how stupid you looking out here by the choices you made. You know, it's not about any of these reaction channels. And okay, so yeah, some of them are saying whatever about you. Whatever, who cares? But guess what? If you're not doing those things, and guess what? People are not going to be able to say it because you're not doing it. Or if people do say certain things and you're not doing it, then guess what? Let them say what they're going to say, because guess what? You're not doing it. So yeah, it's just time to get real. Trying to get real with yourself. But we'll see what happens, y'all. What do y'all think? Let's drop it in the comments and have a discussion. I didn't want this video to go on too long, because like I said, I know people's attention spans are not that long, but I think I got to the point pretty good of what the bottom line is with all of this. Let's discuss it in the comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Let's have a discussion about it. What do you guys think? Do you think these are going to be the last videos from ASI? Do you think Marcus is going to be held accountable for these latest allegations? And do you think it's going to move forward in the court of law? What do you think about what I had to say to him? What is your thoughts on that about him being real with himself? Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. This is Alan Thompson with More Based Off. And guess what? We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going outside. We're going to go for a walk. I'm going to show you some of these, sunny California streets with some palm trees. Because today, I did one video. The first video was I took you guys out. These last two, of course, it's just I just got to come. I got to do it. So I'll be at home. I'm take care of stuff. I ain't had time to go outside and take out outside. But tomorrow we will go back outside and we'll talk about some of these other videos he drops. All right, y'all. Have a good night. That's it from me today. I might drop another short here and there, whatever. But I don't want to. I don't want to flood y'all with too much. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Alan Thompson with More Based Off. Thanks for watching More Based Off. If you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with someone who would enjoy it too. Your support helps to grow the channel. If you'd like to support the channel even further, my Cash App is on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.